Hello? Let's wait for my guests. We're talking about credit cards today. So let me see. Welcome, everybody. Folataj. Folashade.
Hi, Gloria.
Hold on. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. It's been a long time on TikTok Live.
I know, me
It's been a
too.
really long time. Like, I'm even trying to figure out where to put my camera on.
Yes,
Um,
it happens to me too. I don't usually
yes.
come live, so it's like learning
Wow.
everything all over again. So welcome everybody. We're talking about credit cards. So just give us a moment. My guest will be here shortly. I am supposed to because people will not, yeah, there's no point. There is no point. I wanted to log this on to Instagram. Hey, hi
Hey.
Steve.
Hi.
Long time no see.
It's been a really, really long time.
Let me expand you so that I can see
Oh,
you well. I
okay.
like your hair. I like your room setting. It's
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Gloria. How have you been?
I'm good. How is everybody? How are the kids?
Everyone, we bless God, you're fine. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be on your platform this evening.
A whole superstar like you.
Oh,
Okay, so I've texted you on IG, but no replies. I have few questions. Jiggy, you can send the question again. I'm sorry about that. Today we're going to be talking about credit cards. Like you guys know, I sent out that flyer, and I'm sure I will try and see if I can replay this, but it's going to be too long. So I don't think I'm gonna have to. I can do that. Can I do that? No, no, I don't think so.
what is it you said you want to do?
Like replay the live again.
I don't know, but I think TikTok has this automatic recording. Like it records the live.
Oh, I see. Then
Yeah.
that's good.
Stand to be corrected though. Like I said, it's been a long, long
Yeah,
time on TikTok live.
I just feel like I'm starting TikTok all over again, and I don't know for some reason, guys. This is off topic now. For some reason, there's something wrong with my TikTok account. I don't know what it is. Like I know you said the same thing the other day. Um, it's like my account is just on like a lock or something. It's not moving. It's just
It's just
like
kind of stagnant.
yeah, I can see that people are following me, but it's like the numbers are not reflecting on my account. So I have no idea what's going on. Anyways, it's off topic. So I'm not morning Gozie. I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, I'm gonna test it. Somebody said I should try to go live like at least 30 minutes every day. Maybe that would help it to resurrect or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Excuse me, I'm just trying to get my phone plugged. I don't want to lose you guys at any point.
Sure.
I'm trying to put my phone on charge. But
Welcome everybody. I should put like a sticker on here that says what we're talking about. Let me see. Come on. So guys, share the live so that we can get more people in here so that people will have questions about credit cards, especially those who are moving to Canada right now. So don't want them coming back and saying um credit cards, Canada. Oops.
let me just on the slides.
All right. So that's it. Good. Good. Okay. Yeah. I can hear my boy at the background. That's good.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's all the way out. You can hear his voice.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But he's not bothering us. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think we should get started. So why don't I start by asking you, our honorable guest, to introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Folashade Taj, and I am a financial educator. That is what I'll call myself right now. I'm in the process of getting my license. So I don't want to call myself a licensed financial advisor. But so I would call myself a financial educator right now. So I've been in the business of educating and giving strategies to live a financially independent life, especially as new immigrants in Canada. It's us moving terrain from a different terrain to this place. And this started just for the fact that when I got here as a new immigrant, things were a lot new to me about finances, especially the credit card system, which is very, very new to every new immigrant coming from my own hand, right? So yeah, I've been doing this for like a couple of years now. And I can say that I've influenced and I've taught a lot of people, and I'm seeing the results, which is one reason why I've decided to continue to propagate this education as much as I can. And also for people that have known me, because I know some of my people are here as well. I want to welcome everyone. People that know me that are here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I think that's introduction we'll do for now, and maybe as we go on, a lot of more things can come up about me as we try to use examples in the learning process. So yeah.
Yeah, I just try to share, hey, trendy, 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 trendy. I just try to share the life with a few people that I know this would benefit. So guys, if you know anybody that this particular event would benefit, just share the live to them. I just want to see if there is somebody who would benefit from this on my guys. You can share the live as well so we can get more people in here. The more people we get, so that's one person. Let me see another person that needs to be here as well. Dora, does she need to be here now? This Connie needs to be on here as well. Let me just put it to these two people first. So I've shared the live, guys. You too, you can also share the live so we can get more people. So let us start by talking about credit card.
Live as well.
Yeah. So we'll start by answering the question, what is a credit card? What is a credit card? People will soon mount. Yes, I know. I've shared the live too. So hi Yakubu, I see you. Welcome. Hello OC, you're welcome. So we start by asking you the question, what is a credit card? Like if I'm a new person to this country and you just say credit card, like what is a credit card? I'll be
Okay,
confused.
so yeah, exactly what happened to me. Like when I got here as well, they were telling me credit card. I just got it because I had credit card. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't really understand what it is. So credit card is a form of payment, or we'll call it's a form of card where they give you money in advance. So they give you some money, they give you access to money in advance, which you are supposed to pay back most times within a month. You're supposed to pay that money back. So in Nigeria, it's something similar to recycling. So back home in Nigeria when I was working, I know we had access to something that we call recycling loan from the bank, especially if you're working, if you're working a salary earner, we have the access to that. So if you're somebody that's been taking recycling loans before, credit card is similar to that. But what makes it different right here is credit card has a kind of system in which you are able to build your history over time. And then they have a 3-digit figure that you are building that helps lenders to know how good you are with money. So in the simplest term, that is the explanation of a credit card. It's just you having access to money for a period of time and having that money, your behaviors used to give you a figure that lenders can use to tell how good you are with money.
Okay, I know I know we're going to get into those three figures very shortly, but like for me, if I am a new person coming to the country, I am an international student, for example, and somebody tells me, Gloria, you have just come to the country, go and get a credit card. So for me, that credit card is like, it's free money, opportunity for me to go and buy things that I want, like shoes, bags, stuff like that. Is that what the credit card means?
No, absolutely no. Credit card is not free money. Let me cut you from there. Credit card is not free money. So for everyone here, the first thing that should come to your mind when you even hear credit card is not free money, because you're using a credit card and you are expected to pay back whatever you used on the credit card, maybe within, it varies for different credit cards, but usually the most you would find is 30 days. So you're expected to pay back whatever amount of money you used on your credit card. You're expected to pay it back within about 20 to 30 days commonly. Yeah. So it is not free money. Whatever you use on your credit card, you are expected to pay it back.
Okay, that's good to know. So guys, if you are a new student and you think that the credit card is free money, well, OYO, that is it.
Yeah. Or your lower.
The banks would usually give like maybe 500, 1,000. I remember when I was an international student some years ago, they gave me like that first time it was 500. Then that year it was 500, and they increased it to 1,000. But I hear people now saying that they get more than that amount as international students. Have you heard anything different?
Okay, so basically, as international student, the most common you would get is 500. The most common, even as at now, the most common you would get is 500. And I really used to tell my people that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if you're starting with 500. It doesn't matter if you're starting with 1,000, 1,005. The most important thing is to get a credit card. Right. So regardless of the amount, that doesn't determine what your credit score is going to be. It is your behavior with this credit card, your financial behavior with the credit card, that determines how you are able to grow your credit score. So even sometimes, if you're not even able to get a $500 credit card, you can even still get a secured credit card. That means you're putting your own money down to get the credit card. That is what we call the secured credit card. So it doesn't matter if it is secured. It doesn't matter if it is $500 or $1,000. The main thing is to just get a credit card to start with.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Yeah, Trendy, you're right. So it's for newcomers, like she said earlier on, they increase it over time. So you start with 500 and over time they start to increase it 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. Sometimes they even increase it to like 30,000. I know somebody that, like me now, they are begging me to collect a credit card of 35,000. I'm like, no, thank you.
Please do collect it. Whatever credit card amount you're giving,
that's
you collect
another question I was going to come to, but go ahead with the answer.
Okay, let me go ahead. So I used to say that this is one of my own very first mistake too as a new immigrant. So when I came and I started using credit card, right from time I've been very good with money. Like I like to learn anything that has to do with finances, right? So when I got in a credit card, I didn't know what it was, but I got it anyway. And then I started listening to videos. I started reading books, and then I knew that you have to use whatever you use on your credit card, you have to return. So I remember the very first time they called me for a credit limit increase, I said, no, I don't want it. I'm very, very okay. At that time, I had just 1K or 1,000. And I'm like, no, I'm very okay with it. I don't want any more increase, right? But later on, I found out that your credit score, basically, the amount, your utilization ratio is one big factor of what affects your credit score. So for example, let's say you said they're asking you to take 35,000. So if you take 35,000, for example, and you still maintain whatever you've been using on that credit card. So for example, let's say you've just been spending 1,000 on that credit card and you had 20,000 on it before, right? I don't know how to calculate the percentage from my head right now, but I know that once you collect that 35,000 and then you're still using that same 1,000 or 2,000, it means that your credit utilization ratio has gone a lot more down. It has reduced. So that way it's positive to your credit score. It makes it to grow, right? So that's why I said collect it. And when they're giving you increase, it doesn't affect your credit score again at the same time, because it's a soft inquiry they've done. Your bank knows you and they're giving it because they know that's probably your credit worthy or something. It's different from when you have to go and do an ad inquiry, when you have to request for this credit card increase. So when they're giving you credit limit increase, please accept it. It doesn't hurt you in any way. As long as you're able to discipline yourself to stay within your means, to be able to spend just what you can return. Right. So I hope that clarifies that.
Yeah, and guys, if you have any questions, just drop it. Would answer
This
that.
my purple light is let me put it off. I think it's too
I
overwhelming.
like it. No. Are you sure?
I feel like it's getting dark, so it's becoming so. I feel
I
it's
like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the background. I didn't realize that it was just like, anyways. So
Oh, it was light.
yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, we'll talk about that one day. Samira says, Samira.
Someone said put it back. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Samira, long time. Long time no see. So the first question I have for you is, what strategies do you recommend for effectively using credit card as a tool for financial growth rather than debt accumulation?
Okay, so yeah, credit card is a very, very simple system. Like, there's just one thing that you need to do, but a lot of people find it very hard to do. Pay your balance in full every single month. That is just the simplest way, the simplest thing that you can do. But a lot of people find it really difficult because, when you have access to funds, is a problem on its own. So having access to so much funds, and you're like, in this country, not even in this, generally, human beings, our needs are insatiable, except you consciously, right? You consciously determine that, no, this is how much I have to spend. This is how much I have. There's this financial discipline that comes with it. So basically, the main thing to do is to pay your balance back in full. And the reason that is, once you don't pay your balance, you begin to accumulate interest. And like I said, credit card has a very, very high percent. In short, it is the highest form of loan that you can ever, I think, in every part of the world. Credit card, you would have 25% interest. So immediately after your payment due date is passed, you start to accumulate that interest. And the thing is, that habit of you overspending the very first month, there's every tendency that you will do that again in the next month, right? And then those balance begins to accumulate, and that way you start falling into debt. So the very thing from the beginning is to make sure that you pay your balance in full. Another thing is to use just 30% or less as your utilization ratio. So for example, if you have a credit limit of 1,000, you should not be using past 300 on that credit card. If you have 1,000, you're not supposed to pass 300. So 300 means you're using 30%. So anything lower is better, right? So 30% utilization ratio would be another thing that you should do. And the third one is to pay that amount on time. Pay it before your due date. In short, I would say 3 days before your payment due date, because credit card, for some people, it takes like 2 days to reflect. Yeah. So because of that, it's very advisable that you make sure you pay it before or 2 days before your payment due date. And that way you don't have to start racking your head on, how do I increase my credit score? If you're able to do those 3 things, you don't need to bother about any other thing. And the first one, like I said, is to pay your balance in full. And the second one is to make sure that your utilization ratio is 30% or below. And the third one is to make sure that you make your payments before due dates.
So let me ask you a quick question on that one now. So if I with my new credit card, if I go and I buy things, right, and I don't even take note of what I'm doing because I already have access to
the funds.
So when I use the money and I'm to pay back and I'm not able to pay back, but I can only pay maybe out of the 5,000 credit, I've used 1,500 to buy bag and wig, whatever. And now, yes, and I don't have up to the amount to make that payment. What happens to my card?
Okay, so for example, you had spent 1,500. You've bought bags, you've bought shoes, you've bought clothes, you've bought all those nice things, and you spend like 1,500. And then at the end of the statement period, you get your statement and it says you're owing or your balance.
Gloria.
And let's say your balance is 1,500, and then you don't have that 1,500 to pay, right? That's what you're saying, and then you pay some part of it.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, let's say you paid 500 and then it's remaining 1,000. So what happens is the very next statement, where you're getting your statement, you're going to be struck with a whole lot of fees. You're going to have interest. Well, if you do not pay any at all, you might have late payment fees. If you pay, there's late payment. So credit card comes with a lot of fees. But to save yourself all those fees, just make sure that you're paying something, right? So, but for what you have said, you're going to be struck with interest by the time it comes the very next pay period. There's really, aside interest, there's really not anything that will still happen to you in the first month, right? There's nothing that will, aside interest. It's just that you're going to be slammed with about 25, depending on what the terms of your credit card is. So, but usually, I think, like I said, it's usually between 20 and 25. Like mine personally, I think I have about, my credit card has an APR of 22%. So yeah. That's basically what will happen. And then if you don't pay again, they slam you with another 25%, and it continues like that in a cycle.
And it gets to a point where they get that credit card from you and you have to pay money to like a company and organization.
Well, before I can get to that stage, it would be a really, really long time, because all these lenders, they have a lot of money to put out there. They have a lot of money to put out there. So what they're not going to collect the credit card from you. But what is happening? You're going to continue accumulating debt, and then what will happen is your credit score kind of starts to diminish, and then you start having problems. You start having problem getting more loans. You start having problem getting, like, you want to get mortgage, you want to get some other kind of whatever loan it is. You start having problems with that. Right? And then you're still going to be accumulating more debt, maybe on the credit cards that you already have. And then when it gets to a stage, that things like the matrix, but that is really, really going to be a very long time, because they have money to give to you. But the thing is, once you start accumulating debt, you start getting into financial crisis. You start finding it hard to get access to funds, access to money. And that way, things start falling apart. So that is why it is advisable that if you have debt and it's already getting over 10,000, start looking for ways to pay it. There are some debt forgiveness plans as well that comes up. So maybe when your personal debt is getting to about 15,000, they have debt forgiveness plan that you can get into where you declare bankruptcy. But that comes with its own pros and cons as well. But some people take advantage of that and file bankruptcy and get that debt paid and start all over again.
So what's the meaning of bankruptcy for some people that don't understand it?
So bankruptcy is you coming to declare that, I don't have any money. Like, I can't get this debt paid. There's no way I'm going to be able to pay this debt. Right? There's no way I'm going to be able to pay. They look at your employment, they look at things, and they see that, okay, you qualify for this.
For 15,000, Samira.
Yeah, it's called bankruptcy. Yes, you declare bankruptcy for 15K, and people do it. Samira said, yeah. So yeah, people do it, especially during bulls, especially people that I think we Africans, like, especially immigrants, we're always afraid of things like that. We have this thing with good name. Culturally, we have that thing with good names and all that. So for somebody to be like, I want to declare bankruptcy for 15,000, I'll be like, I would rather go pay it. Right? But another thing is people that would not want to declare bankruptcy because they still want to get into house, they want to buy a house, they still want to do all these things, and bankruptcy would affect those things, because when a lender goes and sees that you are bankrupt, right, they're not going to want to give you anything. So those are some of the pros and cons. But people that file bankruptcy are people that really do not want to have anything to do with lenders, maybe for the next 3-4 years, right? They're able to get themselves together, and then after 3-4 years, they come back and they are good with their credit. They start building their credit from the scratch, and things start going on for them.
Okay, this one is a personal question now. So I had a debt of about 20,000. Don't ask me what I use the money for, because I
will let you know that A lot of people, a lot of people have more than $20,000
Yes.
in Canadian credit card. So it's not.
Before Samira comes for me, let me quickly finish. So I now, because every month for the past 2 years or 3 years, 3 years, they've always been slamming me with, like, interest fees, like $70, $80, something like that. So all of a sudden, I just decided this year that I'm going to make that payment. Actually, last month, and I'm going to make that payment so that they don't be giving me or slamming me $80, $100, things like that. Now, when I make that payment, because before then my credit has already gone down. So when I make that payment, what happens to my credit now? Because I have made that payment, and I know I still have another basic, but we'll get there. What happens to my credit now?
So you made the old payment on the card.
Yes, I've paid all the debts. There's no
Did you
debt.
pay it at once?
Yes.
Or you? Okay, so that is where you would have actually consulted me or somebody else, a professional that would have helped you with that. So really, I don't think you should have paid that debt all at once. There should have been a strategy for you, especially if you have more than one card. If you have more than one credit, there are ways that you should have gone about it, right? That would have been more beneficial to you, and it would have been more easier. So that money, you could have spread it across those cards that you have, or probably maybe you'd have consolidated it into a small interest and into a small interest card, and then you'd have been able to pay it off. And that way you're kind of more relaxed, right? You don't have to worry about all your debt is already consolidated into one. But anyways, back to your question, like what will happen to your credit score now? So if you still have debt, you still need to look for a way to still manage those debts. So it's either you make sure that you are paying something on each of those cards. It doesn't matter that you have to pay all the debt at once. You have to start paying something, either maybe the minimum balance or something more than the minimum balance on the remaining of the cards. And that is when you can start to see progress on your credit score. But if you still have debt and you're not paying anything at all on those credit cards and they still continue to accumulate, you might not see any result. For the fact that you paid 20,000 once doesn't mean that you will start seeing a credit score increase.
When will you start to see a change in the credit score?
So you can start to see a change in your credit score when you start paying those cards. Like, you need to look at the other cards that you have and start making consistent payments on those cards, because they need to report that you are actually getting good with your money. You're paying something on that card. It's not just that you left it. So there's some people that they've not even gotten to they've not gotten to that stage of having 20,000 CAD in debt. Maybe they already have, like, even having that 20, but they still pay constantly on those cards, and their credit score will still continue to increase.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not, it will get to a point where your credit score will not increase, but just having debt doesn't mean that it will not grow. If you have good financial habit, like you're able to still pay on those cards, you're paying something more than the minimum balance, right? There's still activities on those cards. Yes, your credit score, I can still continue to grow. I have somebody like that says, oh, I have this debt, but my credit score is still growing. So it means like nothing is happening. I'm like, yeah, your credit score will still continue to grow, but it will just get to a point that it will tank. And why it will tank is because by the time you get to a stage that, because you have that debt and your spending habit has not changed, your debt will still continue to grow, and you will get to a stage whereby you will start falling. You can no longer make those payments, or you can no longer manage those cards. And that is when your credit score will begin to tank.
So what's the meaning of when you said don't make all the payments at once? What's the meaning of that? Because other people are watching and they might be confused. Why did she say that don't make all the payment at once? Is it not a gbese?
Yes, it's a gbese. No, what I'm saying is, you said you had more than one card. So the thing is, even if you have 6 credit cards, it's reported to just one or two bodies. It's a consolidate. So for example, Equifax, if you look at your credit history, they will tell you, oh, you have 10,000 with Fairstone, you have 10,000 with CIBC, you have 10,000. I'm talking about credit limits now. You have 10,000 with maybe EQ Bank, right? So it's going into one system, and then they just calculate all your debts together So, for example, if you have 5,000 debt with CIBC, you have 5,000 debt with First Loan, they will say, oh, Gloria has $10,000 in debt, right? They will not say, oh, you have $5,000 with First Loan and you have $5,000 with. So it is consolidated. So that's what I'm saying. So because you have paid on one card, doesn't mean that you don't still have debt.
Which is true.
So do you get what I'm trying to say now? So what I was just saying is, if you had maybe consulted somebody, a professional, even in your bank or something, they would have thought, okay, consolidate all this into one card, possibly, and then pay it off maybe within 2 years, or put all that money to that consolidated amount, right? And then you'll be
like a loan.
So it depends on different strategies. If you don't have 20K, some people will take a personal loan because it has a lower interest. So if you take a loan from a bank, maybe a personal loan, or you have a line of credit, some people will do that. Take a line of credit that comes with a lower interest.
Yeah.
Take that loan and use it to pay off their credit card debt, and then they will start paying their personal loan slowly, because at least that one has a lower interest rate.
I see.
Right. So there are different strategies. That's why it's kind of personal. Like, everyone cannot be in the same situation. So you take your situation, you take it to your advisor or whoever, they look at it and just give you the best way possible to tackle that debt that you have.
Awesome. Nice way of responding to that. Thank you. My next question is, how do you help clients choose the right credit card for their lifestyle and financial goals?
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. We have, when it comes to credit card, we have something that we call reward program. So a lot of credit cards has different rewards program. I think we have about 4 common ones, and that would be cashbacks. We have the ones that comes with cashbacks. We have the ones that comes with travel rewards, which you usually see as air miles. And then we have the ones that are points based. And then we have the departmental store credits. So now it depends when you want to choose one of those 4 credit cards. And of course, this is not for, this is not your first credit card. Your first credit card as a beginner, let me put that out now. Your first credit card as a beginner, as a new immigrant, you don't have any business with rewards. You don't have any business to start stressing your brain and saying you're looking for the one that has wedding, because at that point you don't even know what your lifestyle is in Canada, right? Yep. So at that point, your very first credit card is just the one you get from your bank, straight up. And like I always say, get the one that doesn't have any annual fee and start using, right? So, but then you've passed that stage, you want to get another credit card. That is when we start looking at, okay, what fits your lifestyle? Are you somebody that likes to travel, or maybe work makes you travel and you just like to travel? You have the funds, you're in a better place, to do all those kind of traveling. Then you can say, oh, I love to travel. My money would fetch me more money if I get a rewards card that has to do with air miles. So that fits your lifestyle because you're somebody that loves to travel. And then whatever you're paying for travel, you get to get rewards on that. And then you can use that for, further travel to reduce your expenses. So another one is, are you a family person or are you a single mom? If you're a single mom, maybe you have kids, a family of 3, we know that, you're going to be shopping groceries. You're going to be shopping a lot of groceries. So where do you shop? Do you shop in No Frills? Do you shop in Walmarts mostly? Do you shop in what's this other common one? Superstore, Costco, right? You look at those places. Where do you shop? Where do you shop most? Where do you spend a lot of your money? Right? So if it's Walmart, then I would say, okay, get a departmental store card. So you can get the one from Walmart. If it's No Frills, you can get the PC Optimum card. So the PC Optimum card is used in No Frills, is used in Superstore, and I think it's used as, I'm not sure if it's used in Costco. I know Costco has their own cards as well.
Their own card.
Costco has their own cards. So so that one will also determine what kind of reward system you will be having in a credit card, right? So that is one. And if you are somebody that loves to shop, maybe that's when you will say you want to, which I don't advise, maybe you want to take a Victoria's Secret credit card. Like that's one of I've seen one of my clients say she wants to take Victoria. I'm like, so are you going to be shopping Victoria's Secret like every month, every other month? Yeah. Are you going to be shopping at Old Navy every other month, right? So yeah, so when we talk about lifestyle, those are the things we consider. Another one will be the point based. The point based is kind of more technical. You have to start racking your brain to see. But if you're somebody that is very good with points, because those points actually help you to buy things as well, and you can buy, they're flexible. You can buy clothes, you can buy different things in different stores, right? It's not particular to a store. So if that fits your lifestyle as well, yeah, we'll go for that. And then I've talked of cashback. The very most common one is cashback, because cashback is very straightforward. It's very simple. Everyone they just give you your credit. Like on my CIBC card, I know currently I've accumulated about $250. And that for $250, I can take it, put it in my credit and use it to buy something directly and whatever I want to buy anywhere, right? So that is the cashback, and it's very, very simple. So we have the cashback, we have the travel rewards, and then we have the points based, which I have talked about, and then we have the departmental credit card. So we'll choose whichever one of that fits your lifestyle.
So, side question: how were you able to accumulate $250 in rewards?
Yeah, because like I always say, personally, I don't think you need more than 3 credit cards. If you're using more than 3 credit cards, I feel like, I don't want to say maybe I would say professionally or smartly, you don't need more than 3. So forget all the marketing gimmicks, forget all what they're marketing to you. You don't need more than 3. So I have 3. I use my CIBC mostly for whatever shopping so I'm able to accumulate a lot of points on that. And I always say, you don't shop because you want cash back. You shop what you need, and then you get cash back on it.
By sitting pretty myself. Wow.
Right? So I use just one credit card for my groceries, for whatever it is that I'm buying. I use one for maybe all my fixed expenses, this ones that they do automatic deductions. I use one for that, right? And then the last one, I just have it like
just in case.
Just in case, it's just there. And then I use a prepaid one as well. So a prepaid one, for that one, I will talk about it later. It's a strategy to curb overspending. For people that really like, okay, this credit card is making me spend too much. I don't want to use it, but at the same time, I still want to get cash backs. I still want to get the benefits of a credit card, right? But my credit card is making me spend too much. What can I do about that? So maybe we'll talk about that towards the ending and talk about how the prepaid card can help you achieve that.
Okay. So my next question is, can you explain how you approach credit card debt repayment strategies?
Okay, I think we kind of went over that when you were talking about yours, but yeah, we can just recap that. So the different strategies that you can use to do debt repayment. There is the filing of bankruptcy, which I really do not, subscribe. Depending on your situation, though, it's the least that people would want to get into. There are 2 common methods that work, which is the snowball method and the avalanche method. So one of these methods, you start paying your debt from the smallest to the biggest. So that method is supposed to help you to have this motivation, to have this happiness within you, right? Even though it's not the most effective, because you're still going to be paying more interest on those ones that are larger that you have left. But we believe that at that time, if you have racked up debt, you need this motivation to go on. So when you are able to pay up your first card on your own, you have this, I'm doing something. You have this sense of achievement that I've achieved something. I paid off this credit card, and then you feel good about it. And then you move to the next one, which happens to be like the higher one on that. And then like that till you get to the biggest one, which you would pay last. The other one is the opposite. It means you're tackling from the biggest. Right? You're tackling it from the biggest, and then you're paying it slowly up till the least one, right? And in this method as well, what we are doing is you're going to be paying on all your credit card, all of it at the same time. But the thing is, you're tackling the debt first, but you're still paying on each and every one of the credit cards that you have. Right? And that way you are able to save on interest. You are able to have a kind of achievement that I'm doing something and I'm seeing results. The snowball method and the avalanche method, those are the two proven ways of being able to do a debt repayment strategy. And they said there's the other one of consolidating debt, but the challenge with consolidating debt is that you have specific number of years to pay off. So let me use a typical example. You have 3 cards or 4 cards and you have debt on each one of them. Mm-hmm. So let's say the old debt is about $10,000, right? And then you consolidate it into another card, because those ones probably they've promised you they're going to give you 2% on that card. But that 2% could be for just 1 year. If you fail to make those payments in 1 year, the interest could come back to 1.5. So instead of you having 25% interest on what you used to have before, you can now have like 30% interest. Right? And the thing is, paying off debt is not easy. Life happens, things happen. Right? So some people will be like, no, what if I don't pay this? If you are not determined, you're not determined to do that, it might hurt you the more. So the two most proven method is the snowball method and the avalanche method, whereby you tackle your debt from the smallest to the biggest, or you tackle it from the biggest to the smallest.
That's a good one. So what are the common pitfalls people face with credit card rewards, and how is it possible for them to avoid it?
Okay, yeah. The very most common one is buying things because you want cash back. And I hear this a lot.
I do that too.
Like, I hear it a lot. I'll be like, you want to buy okay, so for example, they're saying you get 2% cash back. They would even advertise it like you get 2% cash back if you buy this bag or something.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, okay, 2% cash back. Then you start calculating, okay, this bag is $50. I'll get 2% cash back. Okay, so that means the cost of that bag comes to less, maybe 48. I'm just using those figures randomly. I don't know what the calculation is, but you just like, oh, okay, that means the cost of this bag comes to like 48. So let me buy the bag. Because you want 2%. So why not just not buy that bag and save your $48, right? Than spend that $50 and get $2 back. Like, make it make sense. So that is the trap that a lot of people fall into, the cashback trap. Right. The same thing with rewards, to travel rewards. Okay, if I go to Tanzania, or maybe somebody is advertising, they'll be like, okay, I have 2% cashback on my Aeroplan Rewards MasterCard. And be like, okay, I will get cashback. Okay, let me just make this trip. Don't make cashback the reason for spending. Mm-hmm. It's you never win. You would never win. The person offering the cashback, they are the winners. They are the winners. So one way to avoid that is to always just think about, when you just see anything that's saying, just look at it that. I always first of all use the thing that comes to my head is a scam. That's what comes to my head. That's the method. I'm like, this is a scam. So when I say it's scam, I'm not saying that is not real. I'm just like, no, you people just want to scam me off my money. Right? So that's the idea I always push. So when you look at it that this is a scam, you have the opportunity to rethink about it again. Do I actually need this bag? Right? So that is one method. Another method is to have a budget. Have a budget and I don't want to say strict, because budgeting is not something that is you do one time and leave as well. It's something you go over like maybe every month to adjust or whatever. But having a budget helps you to know how much that you are able to spend, how much that you know that you have as a disposable income for that month. So you're not driven by cashback. You're not driven by sales. You're not driven by what a packaging looks like, because those are all the marketing gimmicks. You're not driven by your influencer that is online, that is saying, come and buy this, come and buy that. You're not driven by all those things. And that way you are able to stay out of debt. You are able to pay your balance in full every single month. Right? Yeah, and I think I'll have to give another strategy. Did I answer that question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
strategies to stay out of debt, right? How to overspend.
Yeah. So how would you educate individuals on balancing credit card while building a strong credit score? Because we talked about building a credit score in Canada.
Yeah, so still the same. The first one, or the first thing, never carry a balance on your credit card. Never carry a balance on your credit card. And then the second one, like I've said, I think we already talked about this. The question is just kind of similar. Balancing your credit score and using your credit card. So never carry a balance on your credit card. And your utilization ratio should be less than 30%. And the third one is to make your payments before due date. Those three things ordinarily would increase your credit score. You don't have to now worry about, oh, my credit score, how do I calculate it? You don't even need. You don't need all that, as long as you're able to do that. And then if that is hard, another strategy that you can use to balance up is if you're using your credit card and you're buying something heavy on that credit card. So maybe, for example,
iPhone 16.
What did you say?
iPhone 16.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, let's say for example you charge an iPhone 16 to your card. I hope that English was sounding somehow, but it's correct. When you use your credit card, it means like you're charging your credit card, right? Yeah. So when you charge an iPhone 16 payment to your card and it's kind of heavy, maybe your credit limit is $3,000, and I expect that you have that money. I expect that you have that money in your debit account, but maybe you need to use your credit card because you want cash back, and that is a smart way. That is when it becomes smart, right? Using your credit card. Now that amount is heavy. You've passed the 30% credit limit, but you have that money. So what you will do is, once you use that credit card to pay that amount, transfer immediately from your debit to that credit, or make sure that you transfer it before your statement due date. Mm-hmm. So that, because your statement due date is that date when your account closes. It's that day they look at the figures. It's that day they look at how much you have spent. Right? So that is where they calculate your utilization ratio. So if you have made that payment back to your credit card, your utilization ratio reduces. Right? So that is another strategy. If you're charging something heavy to your card and you still want to maintain using that less than 30% utilization ratio. And that way your credit card just continues to go up and you don't have anything to worry. And when it's time for you to get loans, when it's time for you to, get a car, or you're applying for whatever personal loan, they see that, oh, this person has a good credit score, this person is good with money, and then you're able to get lower interest rates.
So on a side question, is it true that the more debt, it's good to always have money owing on your credit card? Is it true?
Okay, so I will explain that. It's true. But when they say money owing, it just means that at the end of a payment, at the end of a statement, there is a balance that you have used. And that is just what it typically means. It doesn't mean that you have to have a balance that, like, you don't pay off your balance. You're supposed to pay your balance in full by the payment due date. So there is a grace period from the statement date and the payment due date. If you look at your statement, it's always different. So the statement date is the day that your account closes. So your statement date could be October 15 to September 14. Mm-hmm. That could be your statement cycle. So September 14 would be your statement date. And then you would now have a payment due date. So meaning, you have to pay off this balance before this date. And if you don't pay before this date, it means that we'll start putting interest on that money. So you have that grace period, interest free. So when they say you have to carry a charge, that simply means when your statement comes, there needs to be an amount that you have used on that card. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean you have to carry it over. Does that sound, do you understand that?
Yeah.
So that's what it simply means. But I think some people just interpret it like a whole different way.
But for me, I don't usually look at my statement because I just feel that, okay, I'm owing this amount and let's just be there, What's the danger of doing that?
So you should look at your statements like every single month, because mistakes happen on statements as well. Currently, when I was looking at my last statement, and I just made a video of saying that, oh, I spent this amount on T-buttons last month. And I could actually know that figure just because I went through my statements, and I'm very conscious about it to see, oh, how much did I spend on dining? Because even your statements will come with that. It will tell you in categories how much you have spent on dining. It will tell you how much you have spent on groceries. It will tell you things like that. And those figures helps you in your subconscious. And then, like I said, I was charged twice. I bought candy at the candy machine like that in one mall, and I noticed that they had charged me twice for that. And let me tell you, things like that are really, really common. If you don't go through your statement, how do you know?
Oh, you see?
You would never know. You would never know. And I made one video too sometime asking, saying that they had charged me a late payment fee. No, not late payment fee, over limit fee. So I had used my card. That card has a small, and I was just using it. I didn't know that my automatic payment did not go through. So I had set an automatic payment to make payments on that credit card, but it didn't go through. And I kept using that card. And then one day it just declined. And I'm wondering, why, what happened? And then I went and checked the statement. I saw that they had charged me over limit fee twice. And trust me, these charges are not always small. When it comes to credit card, the charges are not always tiny, right? They charged me $29 twice. Right. So if you don't check your statement, how do you catch all those errors? And once you leave it over a long period of time, it becomes overwhelming. Sometimes you just be like, well, let's see how much. You just be like, how much is $25? Please, I can't worry myself with all this voila. Let it just go. Right. But if you catch it immediately, it's very easy for you to treat. And so you need to check your credit card, your credit statement, your bank statement, your credit card statement. You need to check it on a monthly basis.
So it's not enough for you to just look at your mobile banking app and just say, okay, this is correct, because usually most people would get email notification saying your credit card was just used for blah 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 amount of whatever amount of money. You will get that notification. So you're from what you are saying now, it's not enough to just go to the app and just say, okay, is this correct? I have spent this money. This is what I spent today. And
when I say credit statement, you can have credit statements on your app as well. So it just depends on what means is
the
okay for you. So
statement is that 2-page paper, right?
Yes. Yeah. So you can have it on your.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have. It's not okay. It's not. Well, you could look at just the transactions. You could look at the transactions over the month as well. But I just find it that it's very easy, because for the statement, you just have everything together, and it also analyzes things for you that you can just see you can just see it. They have the graphs. They have things like that can help you still see your spending as well, right? So I feel like the statement, even if you didn't catch something in your email, because something like that late payment fee, you won't see it in your email, right? You won't see it in your email. And even a transaction that they charged twice, you might just see it once. You might see it once. And there was a time, so I can remember, I bought gas, and that was the first time I was using tap for gas. I usually just insert my card for gas. So this particular time I used tap, and then I saw $250 my statement. I saw $250. That's what they had charged me for gas. Although it was the person explained to me that they were going to reverse it, that is just a standard when it comes to you fueling. That is the standard. They kind of charge that amount, but at the end of the day, they would refund it and minus whatever you have fueled from it. But then it was kind of new to me. Immediately I saw that, I was like, $250,000. I said $250,000. $250 gas. What happened? Inside which car? And then I called immediately. And they explained that to me, right? So, and that way I know that, okay, this is what happened. So it's not enough to just look at your emails and say no. You make it an habit to look at your statement. Like, it's a meeting. Have a meeting with money. I used to call it money meeting. Have a meeting with money every single month. Like that's what I call it though. And it's very good. It's a conscious habit that helps you to know where your money is going, what you're doing with your money.
I like that. That makes sense. So another question I have is, what advice would you give someone who is just starting out with credit card to avoid the common mistakes or pitfalls?
So the common pitfalls with credit card is not free money. It's not free money. Have that at the back of your mind. That credit card is not free money. And having at the back of your mind that credit card is a business. These people is a business. So every opportunity that they can get to get money from you, they will. They would take advantage of your being naive. They'll take advantage of your financial irresponsibility. And that is how they make money. And I will say that. So, for example, when I bought furniture, there was a time I went to Ashley Furniture. I went to my cash. I wanted to buy furnitures, and then they said, "Oh, we have credit card. We have a card for you. You get 20% on your first sales, and then for the first 1 year, total is 0%. There is no interest or whatsoever. Just make sure that you pay this in 1 year." And I'm like, I'm here with my money, right? But now they're offering me 25% if I get this card, 20% discount if I get this card. And 1 year, no interest. It's still like the same thing, like I'm buying cash.
Yeah.
Of course, who will not take that? Gloria, won't you take that? Won't you take the card?
Mm-hmm.
You will, right? But the thing is, what would that card do to a normal human being? If you were there to buy something worth of just 1,500, trust me, you will buy something of 3,000. That's what will happen. You'll buy something of 3,000 because probably they're giving you a credit limit of 6,000. When I went there, the credit they gave me instantly was 6K. And it was me and my husband. I said, "Oh, okay, this is good to have. This is nice to have. This is nice to have," right? And then once you had but me, I was like, no, we're here with 1.5. That's what we have in cash and that's what we're buying. But what happens at the end of the day is a lot of people would either forget one way or the other, or life would happen and then they would not be able to pay that money at the end of that 1 year. And these people know. The creditors know, and that is why they are offering you all these juicy perks. They know that life happens to people and people will still miss that deadline. And the thing is, once you miss that deadline, a lot of those kind of cards, the interest would accumulate from the time you got it.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it will accumulate from the time you got it. It's not like to now start after that 1 year. It will start from when you got your furniture. So one I always say is credits. I know that it tempts you to want to spend, but once you know that this credit is a business to other people and they want to milk you, they want to get whatever they can get from you, you decide to stick with what you have. Spend only what you can afford on a credit card and don't carry balances. Right, so don't be tempted. Don't feel like, oh, I have this $6,000 credit limit and then I can spend it all, and I can as well get another credit card and spend so much from it. Yeah, so the basic thing: don't spend more than you have. That is just it.
So I guess my last question for you is how should someone approach applying for a credit card if they have no credit history?
Okay, if you don't have credit history, which is really common to we immigrants, to newcomers to Canada, if you don't have any credit history, your bank, where you've opened your bank account, is the best place and the surest place for you to get a credit card, and the most advisable place. Don't mind all the ones that comes into your mail or people trying to get you. Your best bet is your bank. So just walk into your bank. And the thing is, nowadays, for newcomer packages, once they're giving you an account, they're offering you a credit card. So it's really easy. They're offering you a credit card. And yeah, so what to watch out for, like I always say, if you're a newcomer, just get a card that doesn't have an annual fee. Mm-hmm. And commonly these days as well, most credit cards, people if offering a credit card would waive the first year annual fee for you. So that is what is common these days. So they waive the first year annual fee, and then the next year they will start collecting their annual fee. However, what I want to say is, even at the second year, if you are not comfortable paying an annual fee, maybe if you feel like you've not gotten so used to your credit card system and you think that annual fee is not worth it, you can call your bank and tell them, I don't want this annual fee, right? It's either they change the type of card that you have or they still waive it for you. They still waive it for you. Yeah, so that is one thing that you can do. And one thing I always say, there's this mentality that we bring to Canada when we're coming. You used to feel that they are perfect. Is Oyinbo, they are perfect, they don't make mistakes, or Oyinbo has white art. Oyinbo does not have any white art. Oyinbo is here to milk you. They are businesses and they know how to do it so well. They're here to milk you and get whatever they can get from you. So this mindset that, Oyinbo is plain, is negotiate wherever you can negotiate. Pick your phone and call, right? Call and ask questions. If you feel like something is too much for you, call them and say, this amount, I don't think I'm going to be able to make this amount because I can't accommodate it. My budget cannot accommodate it. As simple as that. If you're talking to a customer service or a customer rep, they will look at options for you. There was a time I made a video of how I'm paying $15 for my Rogers my phone bill, and people were like, it's a lie. Up to now, I'm paying $15 on my phone bill.
Which phone is that? Which phone?
Rogers. I use Rogers.
$15.
Yes, that's how much I'm paying.
Can you tell me the secret?
No, but actually, it just came. So, for me, it came to that. Let me tell you, the story was that when I started with I got the list plan. That was when I was on mat leave. So they had this plan and they said, they would just give me 500 MB of data and I could pay $25 for my plan. Unlimited calls, the normal thing, but I'm just going to have 500 MB of data. I'm like, okay, I'm at home this period. I don't need so much data. My Wi-Fi is okay for me. There's no way I'm going. I'm on mat leave. So that was how I got into that plan of $25. Right. So then when I added another plan, my Wi-Fi, and I called them, I'm like, okay, no. So they gave me, later on, they now gave me Wi-Fi, like a whole lot. They gave me was it not 15 MB or so as complimentary. So that was how I was enjoying my $25 just like that. And later, the complimentary now ended. So when it ended, I had to call, the complimentary, you guys, and that time I had already resumed. So there's no way the 500 MB will be enough for me anymore. So I called and I said I needed more data, but I don't want to increase my payments and all that. And then the lady was like, okay, we have one for, you would have to pay maybe extra. I said, no, I'm not paying anything extra. I want just that $25. And then she went and spoke with her manager and eventually they even gave me discount, $10 discount. And I started paying $15.
Wow.
Sorry, my throat is getting dry. I think I need water.
Yeah, please go and help me. Sorry. Guys, if you have any question, just leave it in the comments section while she takes care of the cup. I know that somebody, AK, she said not $50, $15. Samira, thank you for being here. Trendy, thanks so much. I'd like to appreciate everybody that has been here joining us on this this short talk about credit cards and how to use it in Canada. So yeah, if you have any question, just leave it in the comment section. I said Folashade has been talking about credit cards and how to use them in Canada. So if you have any more questions about credit cards, you can follow her and send her a DM. She'll be more than happy to give you a response, help you with your credit card questions and all of that. So yeah, that's where we are right now. And yeah, please, if you have not followed, please click on the plus sign to follow
Please give me a minute. I'll be back.
To follow the host and also to follow the guest. Her name is Folashade Taj. So guys, we're talking about credit cards, and if you are new in Canada, the truth is that the banks will give you or offer you a credit card. If you are an international student, it might be 500, it could be 1,000. I know that in my time, some years ago, it was just 500, and over time, it increases from 500 to 1,000 to 1,500 and just like that. The truth is, you have at least 20 days or 21 days to make a payment to your credit card. And from what Fola has said, and from what I learned while working at the bank, you have to make that payment before that date. Because if you don't, make those payments, they were going to start charging you interest. And you know that the interest on credit card is very, very high, from 20 to 25%. Some even go as far as 29.99%. So you want to be careful. Now, another thing that she had mentioned today is that credit card is not free money. And I always say this on every video that I make. Credit card is not free money. International student, credit card is not free money. So when you go on a shopping spree, and you think that, as I bought this, you still have to pay the money back, and that money has to come out from somewhere, So be very careful of your spending habits, and always make sure that you are reading your statement. When your credit card statement comes, make sure that you are reading them, because there might be some mistakes. These people are also not perfect, like she has mentioned. They also make mistakes, so you can also catch where they have billed you twice for one particular thing. So yes, that's the summary of what we have been talking about since, and how to also build your credit and not reduce, put more weight on your credit score, so that your next time you want to borrow money from the bank or somewhere else, they tell you that, sorry, you have bad credit, we can't give you more credit. So you want to avoid that from happening.
You've totally recapped everything. Like you're a pro now.
Oh, you didn't know I'm a financial advisor. You didn't know that?
Wow.
I was just pulling your legs with the questions.
Okay.
Because I'm just
I know you worked in yeah, true. That reminds me now.
Yeah, I've worked in the bank for like
I know
what?
You worked in that line, yeah.
Yeah. So I everything about credit cards, loans, things like that. You have to be very, very careful in Canada. You have to be very careful. And again, this is off topic, but if you go to the stores to buy anything, please look at your receipts. Please. I have saved myself some money by looking at my receipts.
Yeah.
So any final words for us? There's no question ahead. So Oladipo, thank you. Awesome. So any final words for those of us who are new to Canada and don't know anything about credit cards? Any advice for us?
Yeah, so like I said, that mindset of everything being perfect here, because that mindset that everything is perfect, and like you said, you already attested to that. So when you shop, check your receipts, check your bank statement, because mistakes do happen, right? And there are things that you can as well negotiate on your bills as well. Maybe you are getting a first time whatever bill that feels like is not the usual, it's not the norm, and they just give it to you. Or maybe it's the first time you honestly did not know, or you honestly did not do that on purpose. You can call and let them know. You can negotiate based off, I've been a loyal customer, I've been paying my bills on time.
Thank you.
I've been a loyal customer, I've been paying my bills on time. I really did not know how this happened. Can you waive this fee for me? And trust me, you'll be surprised on how much they can waive for you on those bills. And always shop around. Shop around. If you're buying insurance, you're buying your phone bills, you're buying them, shop around. Don't just stick to one, like, okay, because I've heard of this one, this is the most popular, then you decide to go for that. Shop according to your lifestyle, according to your own. So Gloria uses this, maybe Gloria uses a particular vendor, a particular service provider. Gloria might be using it because it fits her kind of lifestyle. But for you as a new immigrant, it might not fit your lifestyle, right? So shop around, make calls so that you can get the best deals. And like I said, credit card money is not your money. So don't be tempted with, I have 1,000 and I can spend the whole 1,000. If you have 1,000, spend 300 or less and make sure you pay it back at the end of the payments, before the payment due date. And with time, they're going to increase that limit. When your limit is increased, it doesn't mean that you have to increase your spending. Your limit increase, credit limit increase, doesn't mean that you have to now increase your spending. You still have to stay within your spending if your income has not increased. You're only permitted to increase your spending if your income has increased. right? And even if your income has increased, there's still so many ways you can channel it into. Open an emergency fund. Make sure you have an emergency fund. And that's another, that's me going into another part of finance, which I actually always advocate for my people, because it's not just enough to be good with your credit card. For you to be good with your credit card, there are some other places that needs to have been taken care of as well. So having an emergency fund, that is what can help you to curb emergency expenses. Because what happens is a lot of people don't have emergency funds, and when emergency happens, they go to their credit card. And once you go to your credit card, that is you paying a whooping 25% interest, because for an emergency that you cannot cover ordinarily and you're covering with your credit card, there's no assurance that you're going to be able to pay it back at the end of the month. So that is why it is very, 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 very important that you have an emergency fund, right? And that is what will help you to stay good, to stay true to your credit card. Yeah, and what else do I want to say? I think I've recapped. I've said you should always negotiate your bills. Stay true to your credit card so that you can have good credit score, and have an emergency fund that you can start contributing to. And the most important thing is the foundation of financial independence or financial health is to have a budget. Okay, and that reminds me, I said I wanted to talk about prepaid cards, how we can help at the end of the So for prepaid cards, for people that cannot or are always tempted by their credit, the amount of credit they have, and it tends to push them to overspending, another method that you can use is having a prepaid card. So how this works, I've used it before, I tested it, but because I'm somewhat good with money, I don't use it all the time. But like this month that I said I wanted to stay true to not spending my Tim Hortons money, because I see that in the month of September, I went overboard my budget. So what I'm doing this month to curb that is, after paying all your fixed expenses, the remaining amount that is left for you to spend for that month, put it in a prepaid card. So I use Koho prepaid card. Put it in a prepaid card and then spend on that prepaid card. The prepaid card Koho will also give you cash back on whatever you are spending. So that way you don't have to use your credit card for anything. You will use your prepaid card. Prepaid card is just like cash. So it's your money. It's your money that is inside, but it's safe in the sense that you don't have to now put your debit card. It's different from a debit card because, of course, we don't want to put our debit card into machines and online and everywhere. Your debit card is supposed to be safe and secured with you. It's not advisable to use your debit card on online platforms and all the rest, right? So the prepaid card will work for that. You have your cash in there and then you use it to spend. When you are done, you know that, I don't care for this month though. There's no money, there's no money anywhere, right? And then that way you don't fall into credit card debt. And that's the way I use the Koho prepaid MasterCard. And yeah, it can help you if that's an option that you really want to take. If you don't want to use your credit card and you still want cash backs, you still want all that, you can use the prepaid method. So yeah, if anyone has any other question, we still have some time here.
Somebody has a question. Said, will your monthly prepaid plan reflect on your credit score on mobile internet?
I don't get that. Say that again. Will your monthly prepaid plan reflect on your credit score on mobile internet? I don't really get that. But if I want to kind of get what this person is saying, will your monthly, so maybe my Rogers, would it reflect on my credit score? Yes, it does. So if you're on a plan that is I think contract, if you're in contract plan with your service provider, they report it. I never even knew this, so it was just, I was going through my credit history, and that is why it's so good to go through your credit history as well, maybe once, maybe quarterly or something, so you know if somebody has opened credit in your name, or you know whatever history is happening on your whatever. So I never knew Rogers was reporting my payments to Equifax until I checked my credit history, and I saw that Rogers was reporting my my Wi-Fi bills and my phone bills. So if that's your question, yes, they report it if you're on contract.
If you're on contract, yeah?
Yeah, if you're on contract. So I think there's some phones that you just buy over the, like, it's not contract. I don't think they report. I stand to be corrected. I don't think those ones would report your payment history. But My Rogers, they do. They do. Okay.
So
I think that was what the person meant, and
yeah,
I
that's
answered.
because she said yes. She said yes. So let's see. Let me bring up some people. We have
Yeah,
four
another
people.
thing while you are at that, another thing I would like to add about credit score is the type of mix that you have as well helps with your credit score. So if you have a credit card account, you have mortgage loan, you have student loan, and then you're good with all those things as well, it's kind of gives you a good credit score. But regardless, that doesn't mean you should go and get that debt if you don't need it. If you don't need a mortgage debt, you can't go get mortgage debt because you want to increase your credit score. It doesn't make any sense. So the most common way to build a credit score is using credit cards, right? So yeah.
Olalekan Bolaji, please, what is your question? We're just about to wrap up. We're just finally answering questions about what we talked about today. If you have a question, for the guests, please let us know. We're just at that stage of wrapping up. How is you are in Alberta, right?
Yeah, I'm in Alberta, Edmonton precisely.
So how is Edmonton precisely?
Yeah, everything is fine. I miss Toronto though.
No, don't come here.
I miss Toronto, but yeah, it's good. Everything is fine.
How is the
My
weather?
head is already so cold in Toronto. Like one of my friends in Sudbury was telling me yesterday or some days ago it was already minus, and I'm like, no, we've not gotten to minus here. Oh. We're still
But it's
doing
very
well.
chilly in the mornings and in the evenings. So trying to use the heater now.
Like, we're still doing really well. We're still really doing really well here. The weather is still okay. We've not gotten to minus.
Good.
Yeah.
Any advice for anybody that wants to come to Alberta?
Anybody that wants to come to Alberta, it's a good place. But if I feel like if you found your footing in Toronto or wherever you are, if you've really found your footing where there's really not much of a difference. So people will say rent. I think rent is just the major, and even here the market prices are just getting increasing, maybe because of the influx of people coming in. So yeah, the rent is not much of a difference like anymore that would worth you moving all the way. So if you found your footing where you have a job, you have everything going on, yeah, just stay. While some people say, oh, mortgage, getting a house or buying a house is cheaper here. You can buy a house you can buy a house here without being here, right? So
And buy a house without being there. I like that. But as a newcomer, do you think that they can buy a house without having credit?
a newcomer, there are a lot of things that that is involved in buying a house. It's not even only credit. So if you have a job, depending on the type of job again, that will determine how long you would have stayed. But if you don't have a credit, it's going to be hard. So you need to do that for some months as well. Yeah, you need to do that for some months and get credits.
And
have a credit score before they can.
Would you advise somebody to go and buy a new car when they first come to Canada?
Of course not.
Why?
Of course not. But when I say personal finance, it still depends. Like personal finance is personal. It's personal. So another person will buy a new car maybe because they want to use it for maybe Uber or want to use it for whatever side also they want to use it for, right? So it still depends, like I said, personal finance. But just on the normal plain surface, I would not advise somebody to buy a new car if you're just coming to Canada. And the reason is, you still, whatever you're doing here as a beginner, you still really need to understand how things work. So if you want to drive, there's a process. You probably even need to go and forget how you will get your driver's license and all that. So God help you, you passed your drive test and everything, and then you want to get a car. It'll be nice to buy a pre-owned vehicle, and even cash. It's better to buy a pre-owned vehicle cash, a small car, and use that. And then when you have understood the way insurance is, because your insurance is going to be expensive on the new cars, the new immigrants, because everything here has to do with number of years. If you don't have a driver's record, insurance record is going to be high, right? It's going to be high. So it's better to start small, build your insurance record, then more ways we open, and then you can start thinking of going to buy a new car.
The latest even. It's true. Because we always like to want to have the latest of the latest, you know.
I think that doesn't work here in Canada. Like, there are a lot of things that you need to consider. The insurance, when you want to get insurance, like I said, they'll still be asking you how many years have you been driving in Canada. If it's less than a year or you're new, you don't have any points in that regard, your insurance score will be high. So yeah, a lot of things to consider. So it's nice to start with a used car, a cash, and buy your car and let it depreciate.
I want to just use this opportunity to say thank you. I know many people don't understand how time is of the essence in this Canada. Time is money. Every second counts. And for the fact that you're giving out this information free without charging for it is something to be appreciative of. So I want to thank you, one, for your time and for the opportunity you have given to me and the other people watching today to learn about credit card as a beginner tutorial. It's very, very good. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Gloria. Thanks for having me on your platform. And this is a very big platform. I don't take it for granted. I know we've been postponing this and postponing it, but thank God it eventually came. And I'm sure one or two persons have been able to gain something from this live session. Thank you for all you do. Keep going. Don't be. At last. Okay, I'm going to give you food now. I'm rounding up, okay? So go meet Fure. No, I'm not. Bye. I'll be with you in the next 1 minute. Okay.
So we need to let mommy go to prepare meals. So thank you guys.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for being here. If you want to learn more about finance in Canada, you want to learn how to be financially independent, you want to get that information that helps you to make the right financial decisions, you can follow my page at Folashade Taj. It's a page that you can learn all these things for free. And yeah, if you need one-on-one help as well, I give that to people who are already in debt and they're finding it hard to just get out of this debt situation. I offer those solutions as well. And my page is Folashade Taj on Instagram, on TikTok. You'll find me there. My YouTube, I'm still trying to work on that. God give me the
I was
strength.
going to ask you.
I'm trying to work on that. I need the strength.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Gloria. Take care.
So much love. Thank you so much. My regards to everybody. And guys, thank you so much for being here. Until our next episode of the next guest and the next topic. Stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.